One of the first things to do, guys, is to fill up your bath and other basins with water. All of the water supply runs off electricity. If that goes down, the water goes down. So I fill up my bath completely with water. The next thing to do in my emergency action plan in case the power goes out is to dress accordingly in case any sort of situation arises which I need to react to. I need to be in my bug out location clothing even if I'm bugging in. As well as putting on my bug out clothing, I also ensure that I'm wearing appropriate footwear. These are the items I have with me at all times in my bugging location. Mora knife on the left, wallet, through night TN12 torch and handcuffs. If you change into bug out ready clothing, make sure that these are attached to you when you change. Any electrical equipment that was plugged in, make sure that you switch it off at the point and then remove the plugs. I have this APC UPS which kept my computer running while the blackout was on. Shut down the computer and then switch off the APC or UPS system that you have, just to conserve the batteries. When the power goes out, I'll remove all plugs and switch off all equipment. What I would normally do is turn the main isolator switch off so that there's no mains electricity coming into the property at all. The power came back on about a minute or two into my routine, so I didn't get a chance to switch it off, but normally that would be switched off completely. And then I'll monitor the situation to see if the power's back on every 5 to 10 minutes or so, and then I'll put the main supply back on and then start plugging in items again. The power goes down completely. It's like a routine, I just do it automatically. The power's actually back on now, guys, and my water distiller was running during the blackout. Well, it was running up until the blackout. So I've resumed it now, but I'm still filling up sinks and the bath with water in case there's any further interruption to the water supply. In a grid down or stuff hits the fan situation, you don't know when the water's going to come back. So once you've filled up the bath and the other basins and sinks with water, turn off the water supply leading into your house. Even when the water supply comes back, it may be not unsafe to drink for some time afterwards, so running the supply that you do have, it will give you a supply of water for an amount of time. Obviously, whatever that you do put in the bath or the sinks needs to be filtered before you drink it. Once the bath is full enough for your requirements, turn the water off. I already have water stored on site, so I don't fill the bath completely to the top. Once the power's back on, as it is now, these smaller areas that are filled up with water, I'll release the water. But I'll maintain the water supply in the bath for at least one day. Once the power is back up, even if I've just done it recently, I'll go through and I'll top up all of my rechargeable batteries, just in case the power goes down for a longer period of time, or if it goes down in the same day or the same week. You don't want to be caught out with your batteries, discharged level, which could compromise how long you can use your lighting and equipment that relies on the batteries. So just give them a top up when the power comes back. Alright guys, well now that the power's back on, that brings an end to my routine. These are just a couple of the things that I do during a power cut. I'll normally stay alert for another hour or two and then I'll just return to normal operations. Obviously the main thing to do if the power does go out is to put a supply of water into your basins and sinks and your bath if you have one. Obviously water is such an essential part. It's also the topic that I'm covering at the minute, and if the grid goes down, such as the power, then the water supply runs out, because everything's built on electricity these days. It's an incredibly fragile structure that we have. Obviously I'll change up my routine as I enact it. This was actually the first time that I've had to action the routine. We don't actually get that many power cuts. Yeah, it's something that I'm going to build upon, and I'm going to improve and adapt. And obviously, if you have a similar routine, it's going to be a little bit different than mine. Whether power cuts happen in the daytime or the night time is going to affect your strategy and what you do. But it's important when the grid goes down that you stay at a heightened state of awareness, because you just don't know when it's going to come back. That's the end of it. I mean, we the public are not in charge of these operations, so we just don't know when it's going to come back, and we don't know the circumstances that it went down in the first place. So that's basically just the steps that I take, guys. I hope some of it has at least been helpful for you, and obviously I'm going to basically improve upon what I do. The next power cut, I'll do the same again. I'll show you what I do. It'll be similar to this, but with some improvements, obviously. This is Geordie Prepper saying be safe and be prepared.